What's up? What's good? The Wolf is here, and in this Let's Talk, I wanted to go over the rumors that there is some rumors that there's going to be a Crash Bandicoot 4, and I really wanted to go over like my own personal like game design. So this is one of my favorite trilogies of all time, is Crash Bandicoot trilogy. I've been playing them ever since they came out in PS1 back in the day in the States. It was originally a Japanese only title, and then the PlayStation came over to the US and it blew up and became like the biggest thing ever back in the day. At least it was in my household. So Crash Bandicoot was one of those all-time favorites, as I said, and I just really want to see Crash Bandicoot 4 do what will not only continue what the Insane trilogy did, but also like create even better and new memories. So let's get into it. So first thing that we got to talk about is kind of the elephant in the room, that Sony is going to be skipping E3 2020 this year. Yes, E3, we are on the road to E3, and the news is starting up already, which is it's kind of expected that Sony might be skipping E3. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because there is a good possibility and a good chance that whatever the showcase for E3 might end up being, we might end up seeing, well, there's a pretty good chance we're going to see Crash Bandicoot 4 there, because we might be seeing the PS5, the PlayStation 5, the next generation of PlayStation hardware being shown off at this next State of Play. The rumors are that they're going to be holding a giant State of Play in an arena. They're going to be trying to sell the place out and show off the box of the PlayStation, the controller, and more importantly, the next generation launch titles for PlayStation 5. One of which would probably be Crash Bandicoot 4. So with all that being said, yeah, let's get into like game design wise. So this was the gameplay that you're seeing here is me on Twitch. I was streaming it back when this is from 2018, and then I actually have another video of Crash Bandicoot 3 when I streamed it when the Insane trilogy first came out. So that's available to check that all out and everything. I later on did speed runs. I 100% Crash 1 and Crash 2, and I did speed runs of full speed runs of Crash Bandicoot 1. I was still probably on the leaderboard somewhere somehow. On my leaderboard it said I was the top 5 in the world, so I'll take that with however much grains of salt as I can get. And then Crash Bandicoot 2, I did most of it. I just haven't finished it yet. Crash Bandicoot 3, I haven't started yet. I need to get onto that. I need to stream some more of it. Anyways, so my whole thing of Crash Bandicoot 4. I've seen a chunk of the fan base after they played Spyro say Crash Bandicoot should go free roam. I say absolutely not. That's a Spyro thing. Leave it for Spyro. Spyro does it way too good. Crash Bandicoot is a linear game, whether it be like this linear or whether it be with the 3D kind of, platformy 3D-ish type of gameplay that you see right here, where the puzzle, like the level a linear level design like this adds for extra puzzles. Now, we could have more abilities in the game, but if we're gonna have more abilities, they need to be smart abilities. They need to be done in a way that maybe you can't see a platform, but then you double jump, spin to reach a platform off the side of the map or something. You land on it, you fly over, and you're into a secret area. That would be pretty cool. I really want to see the puzzly aspect of the levels stay true to Crash Bandicoot. I don't want to see a free roam Crash Bandicoot. That just doesn't feel like Crash Bandicoot to me. Coming from like an old school player of Crash from way back in the day. See, just having this whole progression of, you get to points in the level where you have the bees flying after you. You got the plants throwing the bombs onto the ground and everything. You can actually jump into the ground right there and knock the bees out of the way and everything. And so just this level of puzzle of like, okay, so how do I actually get through all of these little puzzly aspects and then make all the jumps and everything, which I really hope that the level design for Crash Bandicoot stays in the platform, kind of puzzle platform aspect of Crash Bandicoot, because I feel that is the golden spot for Crash Bandicoot, is that not only with the level design, but also the character design too of it all, using different characters. So I was like showcasing this level especially. Not only the level is a puzzle, but the characters and how you beat up the characters is a puzzle. Making the timing of the jumps and everything, figuring out that timing. So having to slide to knock these characters out of the way, where earlier in the game you just spun to get them out of the way, and then you have other characters that you have to jump on their heads instead of sliding, or they shift and everything. So the technology that we're gonna have for next gen, especially, you could do some really crazy enemy types, but don't overboard. Don't go overboard with it. Definitely one of the core things about Crash Bandicoot is the aspect of the game being very easy to pick up. You can pick it up, you can just play it for 5 minutes, have fun with it. But then if you are really going for like that 100% run, then you have to put the time in. You have to learn the jump timings, you have to learn the levels, you have to learn the enemy placements and all that stuff. So it's hard to master, but easier, easy to jump into, easy to learn how to play, but very hard to master. Crash Bandicoot 1 was one of the hardest games. That was like the Dark Souls of platformers. That's what everybody was calling it when the trilogy dropped and everything. I think that should definitely carry over to the next Crash Bandicoot game. It just made for 3 very different levels of platforming fans, even people that are not fans of platforming. You had the very hard game that brought in the hardcore platformer guys and girls, and then you had the second game, which is kind of the cool one. It's the easy one to get into, but hard to master. And then the third one is just like a lot of fun of just like crazy stuff like Crash on a Harley Davidson and everything, which was really awesome. You get bazookas, and you can double jump, and you had the run ability and this and that stuff. The boss fights also, they don't have to be overly complex. Just some kooky fun boss fights in there. The levels themselves are, the boss fight in Crash Bandicoot is almost the icing on the cake of like, okay, this is not going to be as hard as what I just did, of like, if I beat these levels, I can beat this boss fight over here. And it keeps you just want to keep going and push forward. Maybe you can add a little bit of a storyline, so maybe a few more cutscenes in the game. Don't overpollute it with cutscenes though. Like, again, just keep the game to where it is like you can drop in, play for 5 minutes, and something, you feel like you got through a couple crystals, you got maybe a couple gems and whatnot, and you did something, and then maybe put the game down for the night or whatever. It's like the sense of accomplishment for gathering everything, but do not make it, I cannot stress this enough, Vicarious Visions, whatever you do with Crash Bandicoot 4, do not make it an RPG. Do not make microtransactions in it. Do not make it an RPG. No. Linear gameplay that is just a puzzle game that is fun to jump into, hard to master. Please just make it that. This level is a big one right here with all the clock on there and everything. So I speed ran this so many times, just trying to figure it. It took me so many hours just trying to figure out all the correct timings of the jumps and everything. And to be honest, it was like one of the best games to play while listening to music. It's just something that I was just doing. It's kind of to get the trophies for, but at the same time, because I love Crash Bandicoot, I was listening to new music, and it just brought me back to like the old days of just playing games just to have fun with them. Not to compete or anything. It was a very good nostalgia slash just session of good old-fashioned fun gaming. And I do want to say that the Stormy Ascent level, the cut level, that was really fun to see. And the extra level that was released as like I thought it was probably like a test level, just to see the way that the fans would react to what was it, Crash Bandicoot 3, I'm pretty sure, And the I can't remember what the name of the level was called, but it was the DLC, the extra like level that was put out. I thought that was great. I thought that was awesome. Exactly what I'd really like to see be put into the game. It was just a really fun little. I jumped into the level, play it no problem at all. I used bazooka a couple times, I think was in there. Yeah, it was just like more levels like that. Like just make that next game have levels where, like I said, they're linear, some 2D, some 3D. Just I cannot stress enough. Do not put RPG or free roam into the game. I know some people are saying that they want it. That's not Crash Bandicoot. Like I said, I will be doing probably a 100% run. I gotta finish up my Crash 2 100% run of speed running it, because I kind of wanted to get all the trophies for it and get that platinum on the PlayStation. It's getting so frustrated in this. It was fun though, but that's the thing, like the frustration. Oh, a good point to make in this video is that frustration that I was feeling right here is literally just like I know I'm messing up myself, and so it's like, okay, I need to hit the buttons at the right time for the right amount of hitting the buttons. And right there, like, I know I spun too early and everything. And that is so addicting when it's like, okay, like more addicting than any kind of gambling mechanic, RNG, or any of that stuff. You really want to get people soaked into Crash Bandicoot 4. Make it so they know they screwed up. Or, us the gamers, we know we screw up on a button press, on a spin, on a double jump, on a whatever. And then we just want to keep coming back, and like we want to master it. I was on the platform, but I should have jumped just a little bit too much. I should have slid and jumped or something. That aspect of it. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to end this with, I hope to see Crash Bandicoot 4 sometime in the near future, within the next maybe few months, maybe around E3 time. Definitely for the launch of the next gen consoles. I'm really expecting it to be around that. And yeah, I just I really loved what happened with CTR, Crash Team Racing. I really loved what happened with Spyro. That whole trilogy was great also. Just seeing the childhood, the PlayStation 1 era childhood that I had, being remastered, remade, whatever you want to call it, and seeing it come back to life and just being able to experience this once again. I teared up the first time playing Crash Bandicoot 2. It was one of the very first games I ever fully played through, ever. So just where I am now of streaming and all that stuff, and just that was a game that pretty much started it all for me. So anyways, as I said, thanks for tuning in, thanks for stopping by, and I will see ya next time.